Hi, my name is Mike Darcy and I'm a black gold writer for the Pacific Northwest, and right now we're going to give some tips on pruning roses. A couple things you need to know to begin with. First of all, a good pair of pruning shears that's sharp and ready to go. Sometimes you're going to need loppers, and sometimes you might even need a saw. And right now I'm at my friend's house, Rich Bear, who is a Rosarian. He's past president of the Portland Rose Society and has a garden of about 1,000 roses, so he's really into roses. So Rich, I'm going to let you prune a bush, and I'm going to talk to you while you prune it, because I want to know why you're doing what you do. Well, Rich Bear, it's good to be in your garden, I must say that. Thanks for having us over. But I forgot to mention the fact that you need a really good pair of gloves.
It helps to protect you from these violent plants.
Okay, but my question first of all is, this is February in the Pacific Northwest, why prune?
We only prune for us. The bush would grow and be happy without it, but we return them to a smaller size so they bloom, so that we can see the blooms, and also makes the bush neater. They don't look so good after a year's worth of growth.
Right.
So we're going to make them look neat.
Okay, so where do you start?
Probably the easiest way is to decide how tall you want them, or similar to that. And usually it's around 18 to 20 inches or so. And I'm just going to level this bush at about that height right now, without looking at anything other than trying to get that done.
All right, now I noticed that you're not being careful about pruning by a bud or not by a bud.
You can spend a lot of time looking for buds, or you can not, and in July you won't know the difference. Or maybe even tomorrow you won't know the difference.
So just prune?
Just prune.
All right. Okay. And what about sealing the tips?
That's a very good old maid's thing that is a good waste of time and does nothing for the rose bush or you.
Okay.
Okay. This one's got leaves on it. Usually you don't get leaves at this time of year. We're not going to bother with them. They'll be mostly pruned off when we get through. Once you get the height you want, the next thing you should do is go through and remove anything from the bush and anything and everything that's smaller than a pencil in size. And generally when we say that, we mean anything that's big or smaller, and that's because you can already see they're starting to grow, but the stem is not big enough to support flowers and leaves for this year, and it'll break off. So if we get rid of it, then we don't need to worry about it, and the bush will grow more and bigger stems later by removing the little ones now. And sometimes you can have just a few little ones on here, and sometimes you can have a lot of them. And when we get through taking the little stuff out, as we have pretty much here, then you can see what's left and decide which canes you'd like to have. And we'd like to have 4 to 9 or more canes, good healthy stuff. If they're green and they go all the way to the base, they were new from middle summer on. If they were green and they've come up and they've been split once, they were new 2 years ago and they were pruned last spring and they bloom. If they're older than that, sometimes we sort of decide what to do. Here's an example of a piece of an old cane that wasn't productive last year, so we're just going to get rid of that. Quick preliminary, there's another small one. Isn't that going to be good? In here in the middle are a couple things that did not produce any good growth last year, and you can tell that by what is emanating from them. And then you sort of get into, okay, which ones do I want? You don't want them to be crowded when you're through, because each cane will produce lots of side canes. So if you've got 2 of them side by side, they will interfere with each other and just get in the way. You want to give them each room to grow.
All right, so Rich, on this rose bush right here, are you done?
As of right now, I'm done, Mike, but as I walk through the garden later in the next month, I may decide, well, maybe there's an extra limb in there I still don't want. So pruning actually is never done. You prune roses all through the summer and the winter, and there's no particular time that you should or shouldn't do it.
Okay, but my question now is real quick. You made it seem pretty easy. I always thought pruning roses was really complicated.
Well, that's what people like to have you think. Get rid of the little stuff and some of the older stuff. Maintain the newer canes at whatever height you want. The taller you prune it, the earlier they'll bloom and the more flowers you'll get, but also the bush will be a lot bigger. So you decide how much you want to do it. And a year or 2 of experience will teach you a whole lot on how you like your garden to look.
And February is the month to do it. So Rich, great information. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.